This is the new DJI OM7P gimbal, and it does have a good few things going its way. But there are so many things that left me scratching my head wondering, is DJI offering anything new to smartphone filmmaking with this gimbal, or just playing catch up with what the competition has been offering for many months ahead of it? Because ultimately, whether this is a good gimbal or not for you, it comes down to what you want to get out of a gimbal, because we all work in very different ways. Because this is the kind of design that gives you a very limited tilting range. And yes, you do have a selfie stick with this gimbal that you can angle this, but you cannot do a shot where you go from the ground up without the phone going crazy unless you go sideways and try to raise the phone in a very unnatural way. Can you do it? Yes. Is it natural? No. It requires a lot of practice, and you are never gonna get the same quality of shot as a gimbal that allows you to literally just go from the ground up. So this is one big issue that I have with this type of gimbals. So you compromise functionality for portability. If you are happy to compromise on that level of functionality and you just want a gimbal that is portable and you'll find a way to work around the problems or the limitations, this gimbal is okay, I guess. You do get your 10 hours of battery life out of this gimbal, and the mounting mechanism remains just as it was with the OM5 and the OM6. Really easy, snaps really well. You now have this AI tracker sensor, LED light. I mean, this is the only really improvement from the OM6, from what I can see. And one thing that is really great about this is that you now can pair a DJI mini microphone, but it's only limited to the DJI Mic Mini, which I think is a missed opportunity in my opinion. And the tracking itself is really good, although I do feel this tracker is a bit of a gimmick. Let me explain. If you have the Mimo app open and filming with the Mimo app, this tracker is not gonna work. The tracking is done by the app. This tracker only works if you use a third-party camera app, which is great and what most people might use. But that tells me that there is no real improvement on this tracker compared to what you get with the Mimo app. So if this is something that you're looking at investing on, well, I don't think it's really worth the investment, really, because essentially that's the upgrade that you get from the OM6 is this AI tracking module, which might be a solution for some, but might be a complete waste of money for many. Now, there is one thing that I really like about the Mimo app in regards to the settings for the tracker, is the fact that you now have a button that will keep, theoretically, the correct composition when it does the tracking, so that your head is not smack in the middle as most trackers do. And I think that's a fantastic feature, because the adjustments that you can do once the gimbal is tracking are still very limited. So I think that's a really great feature that it's sometimes a bit of a hit and miss. Sometimes you get the correct headroom, but other times it seems to lose you. So I think it's a really good idea, but I sometimes feel that the implementation is not quite there. And the Mimo app is probably the best thing that this gimbal has, because it's an app that I genuinely love using. I just wish that you could tap onto the advanced camera modes that you get from an iPhone, for instance, because there is no ProRes feature, there is no way of accessing Apple Log and some of the other features that you can with a third-party app like the Blackmagic. So sometimes I wish that DJI would actually spend a little bit of time implementing a better Mimo app. There is actually one other thing that is really good, and it's the fact that you have this jog wheel here that you can now assign for focus, zoom, as well as the obvious control of the LED on this tracker. I just feel this whole design feels a little bit lazy from DJI, because there is nothing really new from the OM6. The buttons are in exactly the same place, the LCD screen wasn't great back then and it's exactly the same as it is now, and the functionality of the gimbal itself and what you can do compared to going into the app is exactly the same. You can switch from vertical to horizontal just by double tapping this button, but this is nothing new. This is something that DJI has been doing for years, and pretty much every other gimbal out there is offering. I don't feel DJI is giving you anything that you would go, wow, this is something that I really want to invest in. I mean, you do have a few gimmicks, like for instance, this built-in gimbal feet here that they are okay, but they are really very unstable. I would never use this feet. You know, this is the kind of implementation that why bother? I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to say something nice about a gimbal like this. And I wasn't a big fan of the DJI OM6 when it came out. You probably saw my review. And yes, the stabilization is really good, but all gimbals nowadays have really good stabilization. They had 10 or 15 years to perfect the technology. It's a gimbal. This is not rocket science. The footage is going to be stable. But when you see what other companies are giving you with their gimbals, I don't think this is worth the money that you pay for, in my opinion. This gimbal serves a very unique and specific type of user, and in my opinion is the kind of user that shoots vertical with no filters or lenses of any kind. Maybe a variable ND, but definitely no lenses, because the payload is anywhere between 170 to 300 grams, and on that payload you cannot really do much. And I've had even the small Sunmark telephoto lens on this phone, and after 5 minutes the gimbal gave way, and you can clearly see the limitation of the tilting range is really big. I mean, I am 6'1", and when I angle the gimbal to film with it, the gimbal cannot be straight. And yes, I could sort of swivel this, and that way I do have the functionality to do that. So yes, you can do it, but the moment you do any type of movement, this is not something that moves when you angle your arm or when you go down or you go up. This is extremely limited tilting range. They haven't really done anything. They haven't innovated a way to sort of go from the ground up. And this is now what I call the gimbal season. All the manufacturers are going to be coming out with new gimbals, and I'm going to be doing a good number of gimbal videos as well as tutorials on how to get the best out of these gimbals. So if that's something that you are into, again, subscribe to the channel. It's really nice to see the numbers going up. And going back to the video, like I said earlier, this gimbal fit that are integrated within the gimbal itself, they're just about okay to hold the gimbal when you have the phone on, but they are so flimsy. Any bit of breeze that you're gonna have, this gimbal is gonna be dancing like it's on a dance floor. So I still recommend that you get yourself some decent gimbal fit if that's what you want, and attach it to this gimbal, and do not ever rely on this fit. I mean, what a crap implementation of an actually decent idea. It's really nice the fact that you can go from vertical to horizontal at a flick of a button, so that's really nice. But the fact that the tracker doesn't work if you have the Mimo app on is a bit of a bummer. If you are tracking yourself at a similar distance that I'm doing this shot, and you want to change the composition of the frame, there is no way to remotely access that. They give you the technology, but they don't give you the tools to use it well. And when you compare to what companies like OM is offering with the range of smartphone gimbals that they have, you have to ask yourself, what's the point of this gimbal really? So the question is this DJI OM7 gimbal worth buying? Would I buy myself? And personally, no. This is not a gimbal that I would buy myself, and this is not a gimbal that I can recommend, because when you compare what other companies like Insta360 or OM are offering in this type of range of gimbals, of compact gimbals, you have to ask yourself, is DJI doing any innovation at all, or they just simply playing catch up? Because there are so many limitations with this gimbal, and I use DJI products all the time. I don't want you to think that I have a biased opinion against the company. I love the DJI Pocket 3, I use the DJI drones, the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro. I have a DJI Action 4 and Action 5 Pro, so I do use the products, but you know, when something is not good, you have to say it. You have to be honest. This is not a good gimbal, in my opinion, worth spending the money on when you have so many better options out there. And I really hope that you find this video helpful, that I save you hopefully from wasting your money on this. If I did, hit the like button, and hopefully more people can get to watch this video and save them from wasting their money.